That's me. Yeah. Can you hear anything?
Yep, I'm muted. Great. Oh well. And because I'm on the Giphy API, this URL, the response from the server is JSON, right? If you see an image, the response is the image. So one more time, I go to this URL, I'm making a request to this URL, that's a technical term, right? And the server is giving me a response of this JSON, right? If I go to this ESPN website, I'm making a request to ESPN.com, and the response is this HTML that we see on the page. All right, so in this Giphy, in this data, we kind of have to find the trending images, right? There's two ways of doing this. You can look through it, right? That's probably one of the best ways. Number two, you can go to the Giphy API documentation, right? So you can go two different ways of approaching. Sometimes the documentation is wrong, right? Sometimes the documentation, like if you go to the Giphy API website, the documentation is wrong. Why would that happen? Outdated, right? Developers, you know, it's on their Trello board, it's on their task list, they just aren't working on it. And human error, right? You could just mess up. All you have to do is like type something wrong and then documentation's off. Or it's outdated, like Josh said. So over here, we see all the data. I see information here. And really what we're looking for is this, the images key. So I could take a look at this one. So it's a still picture. I'm looking more for a GIF. So that one doesn't work for us. So I could look at fixed width. And yeah, it looks like she's moving, so that's great. So we can do the fixed width one right here. So that's what I'm looking for. So what I'll do right now is I will make an AJAX request to this URL. What function am I going to use, Derek? Juthika, $ dot AJAX, excellent, right? And in here, I'm going to pass an object to the AJAX function. I'm going to have two keys in here. One key is enough, URL, right? And what should I, over here for the value of URL, what should I put, Josh? Josh's row. Excellent, query URL, right? This is where my URL is. I mean, you could just put this, but it's redundant, right? Because we already have a variable with that data. So we should just put query URL. And then this is completely optional, but I want you guys to get used to doing this because the default might change in the future. So I need to put another key in a value. Let's go to Ebony's row. Starts with M. Method, colon, and then what's the value of it? Excellent, get. Right, so whenever you want to, so there's something called REST, which you guys will learn in week 13, week 14, around there. And this is 1/4 of REST, right? It's like 1/5 of REST. There's like 4 other methods. There's post, put, delete, and patch. Post, put, and delete, and patch. And we'll learn those later on. But generally, when you want to get something, when you want to get data, you just write get. You're pretty self-explanatory. If you want to, if I said delete, that means you're deleting some data on the server. All right, so over here, we do .then, a function. I can call this whatever I want, so I'll just call it data for now. And then I'll just console log the data and see what I get. Okay, so I get this object back. Good. So I have this object back, and so I see I have 3 keys here. 3 keys here. Which key am I concerned with? Let's go to Aaron's row. Aaron and Derek. Derek and Aaron. What key am I concerned with? Data 1, excellent. So then what I'll do over here is I'll do console log data and see what's inside. That's redundant, so I'll just change this to response. So just a little clearer, response.data, and we'll go and refresh the browser. So now I have an array of images over here, array of objects. So I just want to, we're just going to test it out, right? We don't want to code the whole thing out. So I'll just get the first thing, the first object here, the first object. So if I wanted the very first object in the response.data array, right? What do I put here, Juthika's row? Square brackets? Excellent, square bracket 0. Why'd you say square brackets? 0. Excellent, 0 is the first index in the array, right? Any of the first element in an array is 0. Excellent. And response.data is an array itself. Excellent. All right, so let's see what this looks like now. See how it's iterative? right? You're not coding everything out. You shouldn't know what to code. You're just kind of like trying something and seeing what happens and then going from there, right? You generally have a plan before you go, but you can't just know what to do off the top of your head. You're writing a little bit of code and seeing what's going to happen. Okay, so we see this GIF right here. I'm going to open it up. So which key am I concerned with over here, Rob's row? Images, excellent. Good guess. So let's try this. Refresh. Okay, so this is the images object. And then which one did we say we wanted? Fixed height. There was another one, I think fixed width. It doesn't matter though. We'll do fixed width. So dot fixed width. And now which one has our image in which of these keys has our image, Aaron? URL, excellent. So let's try dot URL. Cool. So let's see if this worked. All right, cool. We have our image. We have our image right here. But we have only one image. We have only one image. If we wanted all the images, what type of JavaScript code would we use if we wanted all the images? A for loop, excellent, right? Because we're looping, we have to loop over response.data. Response.data is an array. We have to loop over it to show all the images. But for now, we'll just make an image for this one. We'll make an image for this one and add it to the page. So if I want to make a blank image, right? If I want to make a brand new image, let's go to Sandy and Maricel. What am I going to put inside this $ parentheses? Excellent. Right, so this is going to make a blank image. IMG, like this, right here. Actually, we'll just do IMG. It won't do the closing one. And now I want to update IMG's SRC attribute. I want to update IMG's SRC, the source attribute, so I could put the URL inside of it. So then let's go to Josh's row. What am I going to do? IMG dot. I think you can do SRC, but we'll use a method. It starts with an A. Good, ATTR. You can do SRC too. And then over here, I'll say SRC, comma, what should I put over here? Excellent. The URL of the image, which I'll just grab from here. So now the image is going to look like this. Let's see what the image. So now the image looks like this, right here. The image, after this line of code right here, this is what the image looked like. And then after this line of code, this is what the image looks like now. Now I want to add it to the page. Let's go to Quasro. How do I add the image to the page now? Cool. So I'll do the body, and then how do I finish it off? Dot append. Excellent. Cool. So now let's just test whether this worked or not. If it does work, then now we proceed to the for loop. So see how I'm not doing the for loop right away, right? Just do something very simple and then move on to the complicated thing. And no matter what you're building, that's the way to go. Just do a little bit at a time. All right, so I just right-clicked, inspected this, and this is what it looks like. This is what the image looks like right now. And it goes underneath the script tag because I'm appending it to the body, right? So I can change that by doing prepend, or I could make a div up there and then append it to the div, but I'll just do prepend. Refresh. Cool. So now it goes to the top instead of at the bottom, at the very bottom of the body tag. All right, so now I need to change this so that it works for every single image. So I'm gonna do a for loop. Do a for loop right here, curly brackets. I'll throw this inside. Var I equals 0. And then let's go to Quasro. Can you guys finish it off? Excellent. And then over here, I++, right? Just like always. And then 0 with I right here. Why am I replacing the 0 here with I? Excellent, because we're iterating from 0 up to the length, right? But let's just say I save this and I refresh the page, Ebony's row. What's going to happen when I refresh the page right now? Right, it's going to show a ton of images, but are they going to be different or the same? Same, right? Because we're showing the first response.data 0 always. We're showing the first image always. So let's just take a look at what that looks like. Wow. I don't know who that is, but okay, so now we'll change it to I. And these are all the trending GIFs. Where's the panda? Oh, wow, panda. Nice. All right, let's go over this from scratch now. I mean, not from scratch, but from the top to bottom. So line 13 to line 28. Let's go to Rob's row. Can you go over it in detail?
So first line right there, you're seeing the URL that has all the JSON.
Excellent. I liked how you said JSON, right? This is the URL that has the JSON, right? The API endpoint or the API route. Good. So we have that in this variable called query URL. Keep going.
You got the jQuery, the ajax call to reference that URL on top,
Mhm.
and then get that's just the say like this, and then the function, and then function response that response can be anything as well.
Great. So we're doing Ajax to make a request. We're doing Ajax get method to do a request to this URL to get the JSON. And like you said over here, we're doing a function. This function executes after the Ajax call is finished. So the Ajax call finishes completely, and then this function happens right here. This is called a promise, right? It's not in the curriculum, but we'll go over how to deal with promises at the very end of the course. And then as Rob mentioned, this can be anything, right? This is an argument, so it can be anything. It can be ABC, but it makes sense to call it response. Keep going.
You set up a for loop to go over the entire length of the URL and JSON, so it's going to go over the whole length of that.
So I'm gonna correct you right there, right? Just a little bit, right? You're absolutely right. We're gonna do a for loop to loop over all of the images, all the image objects. So I'll just write that. Doing a for loop to loop over all of the image objects from the JSON. Cool. And then inside here.
That variable image, you're setting up that image tag. It doesn't show up on the page yet, but you're setting that up underneath there. You're adding the source tag so that into the image.
Perfect. And then what about here?
Adding it to the body of the page there.
Great. So we're taking the image and putting it onto the page right here on this line. And then over here, as Rob mentioned, we're updating the SRC attribute of this blank image tag that we created over here to be whatever the URL, the image inside that array is. Questions on this code? Go ahead, Rob.
So when you're looking at the other one, titles,
Mhm.
you didn't have to create a variable with the URL of the
OMDB. Yeah, well, we didn't deal with images, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so that was the one thing. We didn't deal with an image. You will, because they have a poster key. Because we were dealing with title, author, year, right? Title, author, year. There is a poster key inside that object, which points to an image of the movie poster. That's you guys will be dealing with that today and doing something like this.
Reference any key when you're trying to call
anything you want.
Trying to call before, like the username was showing up on there, but I didn't see call that.
If you want to, you can call any of the data you want. Yeah. Go ahead, Ebony.
So creating the image tag with jQuery best in this case because we didn't know how many images there were.
Exactly, right? Exactly. We don't know how many images there are. Yeah, so I mean, there could be 10, 15, 20, 25. So we can't estimate what that is. And also, it's better to do it this way because even if you knew how many images there are, yeah, even if you knew how many images there are, right, they could change that, right? You're not in control of this data, right? You're just hitting this URL, and the developers aren't completely in control of that data. One thing that happened a while, I forget when it happened, I think in 2016 or 2015, Spotify, their API, they took it down. And so all these apps kind of got shut down, right? Because they were depending on their API. Yeah, that sucks. So you kind of have to, like, when you're using an API, you have to understand that you're completely at their mercy, right? Unless you're a paying customer and you're a significant part of their business model, then you don't have to worry about it. But if you're not, then you're at their mercy completely. So let me send this to you guys to go over. And then we'll move on to a new activity with the weather. Okay, so go ahead, download this. Joe, give me a thumbs up when you have it downloaded and in Sublime Text and open your browser. Yes, absolutely.
I was trying to append the response on the one side.
On the body tag?
Yeah, like the whole data. And there's nothing showing up.
Yeah, so when you try to append and append and prepend, they require HTML or a jQuery object. They require HTML. Yeah, if you take an object, it's not going to convert to text. So you have to take the object, convert it to text, and then you could append it to the page. Yeah, or you could use .text or .html to add it to the page. Yeah, .html won't work unless you convert that object to text, to a string. Yeah, and you can do JSON.stringify to convert it. Joe, you have it? Cool. So we'll do a 10-minute review. Go over it line by line with your partners. Play around with the code. If you have any questions, I want you to write your questions down. Right? We need to clear up your questions. Right? I want you to be 100% clear on every line of code in this file. Okay. So we'll do a 10-minute timer.
think you get a kick out of this? It's the box.
Oh yeah.
Sorry about that, Will. Thanks for messaging me. All right, so next activity, you're going to make a page, and it's going to say San Francisco weather details, and you get the weather in San Francisco, and you're displayed on the page, as well as the humidity and temperature and wind speed. And you're going to use an API. The API you're going to use is openweathermap.org, and we already made an API. Generally, what you do with these things is you sign up, and they'll give you an API key. We did that process for you. But generally, you just go to the site, sign up with your email, and you get an API key, and you just use that API key. But just to make it easier for you, here's some starter code with the API key, the city variable, the URL that you're making a request to, and then all you have to do is make an AJAX call to query URL, right? And then you'll have the data, right? So you just make an AJAX call to the query URL, just like the previous exercise, And then you'll get the data in the response. And then from there, you can update the HTML. You can update the HTML that way. Questions on this activity, Rob? Clear? Cool. Joe? All right, cool. Aaron, do you have all the files? You do?
Yep.
Great. So we'll do 15 minutes. You should be able to copy the previous file, the AJAX code from the previous file, to move fast. What would you say? Let's go over now. Grab this information, make a new HTML page. So I'm going to go to the previous file, just grab code, copy it over. And then JavaScript, cut this part out, throw it right here. And it basically works already for query URLs. So let's try it. Just console log the response. Okay, so we get this object back right here. So we have this object back, and where's the temperature? Let's go to Rob's row. Main, and then which key should we use? Temp. Excellent. Just console log that out. Response dot. Go ahead, Rob. Main. Excellent. So let's just see if that gives us the temperature, which it says 53.67 here, so that's what we should see. 53.67. Good. Perfect. And then get me the humidity. We'll do a response right here. Let's take a look at this. If I wanted the humidity, I go, let's go to Fernando's row. Main, good. And then which key? Humidity, awesome. And then we'll go back. Response.main.humidity. And then what was the other one, right? All right, let's go over here. Just do response.refresh. Fresh. Okay, so where's the wind speed? Aaron's row? Wind right here, and then you're saying speed? Good. So response in dot speed. Let's see if this gets us everything. Good here. So now we just have to add it to the page. So in this case, since we're just 3 elements of the page, you could just hard code it in. We'll do 3 paragraph tags. So temp and humidity, wind speed. I mean, this is lies because it depends on like what street you're on in San Francisco. Like what part of the street. So I have all these span tags, temp, humidity, wind speed. Okay, so now we'll just change these console logs up and make them $. Dot text. And over here, if I wanted to update the wind, hashtag what? Wind, right? Because that's the ID I used right here. This isn't the wind. This is the temperature. So wrong. Me. Tag what? Temp. Good. And then over here, this is humidity. So hashtag. What did I put? Humidity. Yeah. And this is wind speed because that's the ID I used right here. The reason why I put a span inside of there is because I wanted this text temp right next to the temperature. So I wanted this on one line. So if you want something on one line, you put in a paragraph. And a paragraph's a block level element, so the full width of the container it's in, the body. And then in that paragraph, I want the temperature. So that's why I put the span tag. Spans are not block. What are they? And good, right? What does that mean? They all. You're right. Everything lives on the same line, and it takes the space it takes up is how much the content is, right? The width and height of the content. Yeah, as opposed to a full element. So let's go over this again. This was the starter code. I just copied this ajax query, and we just console logged the response right here. And by looking at the response, we found the temperature. we found the humidity, we found the wind speed, and then just console logged it just to verify. Then we made some elements right here in the HTML, made some elements right here, and then we updated the text of those elements, whatever we got back from the API. Data instead of response?
No, I use the data.
Data pen, that's fine. Yeah,
Oh,
all good. If you use .html, that's fine too. Anything works.
What gives responsive value?
Yeah, so this URL, well, let me go to it. It's right here. Let's see if I can get to it. Yeah, so this URL, I did not forget the audio, Will. Thanks for saying that. And Will, you could just unmute yourself and speak up if you want to. If I forget again. So this data, like the developer's creating it. So you're gonna have a database. So have you guys used? Go ahead.
So the argument response, why does it know that is the data that comes back?
Or whatever you put, whatever name you put here. This might not be what you're asking. I'll go deeper. I put data. Whatever name you put here is going to be the object that's returned. So how does it be that object?
Yeah.
It's because it's like literally when you go to this URL, this comes up. So that's what we're doing. This is almost like we're opening the browser into this URL, and whatever comes up on the page, that's going into data. That's how it's working. Yeah. And then the reason why it looks like this is a developer made it look like this.
So if number 5 came back, it would be 5.
Exactly. It would be 5. Yeah. Questions on this? 100% clear. What lines are you not 100% clear on? Anyone? Go ahead, Sandy, please. Thank you. Yeah, so that's great. So why did I make a variable like key in city? Because you could have just thrown this right here like that, and that would have been fine. But it's a little bit easier if you just say, because I'm giving you this file, and let's just say because everyone to it just crashes because there's a limit of how many API requests. Then you guys would easily, you guys can sign up, and all you have to do is change it. So it makes it a little bit easier for you. Right? So, I mean,
Got a
like,
question, Pavan.
I mean, instead of it here, you can change it here. Right? So there's less opportunities to make mistakes into separate variables.
Go to the console log query URL.
Um,
See, that didn't work for the longest time.
Console log query URL. Yeah, the reason why is because in here, click on this, it's going to Sam.
Right.
Yeah, so but you got to copy the entire thing. So you have to copy this entire thing. For whatever reason, it's not logging it properly.
Is that in there?
Yeah, if you copy this whole thing, then it works.
Hey, Pavan.
Yeah, I don't know why console logged like that. Go ahead, Ray.
Can you log the response real quick? Yeah, you console log the response, it worked, but console log the query URL.
I mean, it did console log the query URL. It just broke it up into 2 different lines. I don't know why.
Right, I think it just copied the data, and that's why I got on that long side.
Just that's a response.
So this returns the whole, so if you click down here, and then go down to the main, and then did a one click on the unit here.
A left click?
Whichever one does the, yeah, there should be a copy from that. So if you go back to your Ajax file.
Main dot. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you
Nice.
Go back to your Ajax file and just hit
Data.main humidity. Cool. That's a very cool trick.
logs out that exact spot.
That's really cool. That's really cool. Thanks, Ray. Really cool.
Hey, Pavan.
All right, going back to Sandy's question, right? Breaking this up, two different variables, right? It's the only benefit is just making it for you as a developer to quickly change the city, right? And quickly change the API key. That's the main breaking it up. Doubt it. Other questions? Rob, you're 100% clear.
I have a question.
Right? If it doesn't work, then you guys have to just sign up to Open Weather. That's a free API. Free API. Nick. Good? All right, cool. Let me send you guys this file. Just go over it. After we go over it, we'll go on break and then do another API exercise. Fernando, let me know when you have it downloaded in Sublime and OpenBrowser.
Hey, Pavan, can you hear? Pavan.
I think his audio is muted. So you can just maybe text him and then.
Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks. All right, 5 minutes. Just go over it line by line. Play around with the code with your partners. Derek on there. You guys just go over it with each other. Thanks, man.
See an instance where this would exist somewhere, and this would be a form, and someone would bring it. Right, so, like, right here. Unless I
Break time.
Pawan, audio, please. Hello, Pawan. Pawan, audio, no audio.
Yeah, I don't think he turned it on again.
Yeah.
Yeah, he keeps forgetting, man. So yeah, I'll just type another message.
And audio. Sorry, Chris. Yeah. Okay. So I slacked out a picture. You guys are going to be using the band API to make this right here. It's going to be a form where the user puts in a band or a musician and clicks go, and then it adds information from the Town API onto the page, like a picture of their last album, and then wow, what the hell did I do? And then it's going to add in the band's name right here. It's going to link to the Bands in Town page for Blink-182. How many fans tracking this artist, the upcoming concerts or events, and then a link at the bottom called tour dates, and that's also going to link to the Bands in Town Blink-182 page. Now, this if you put something else, right? If you put in something else, then it will find that particular artist. So let me just do that real quick. So right here, right? So over here, if you put in someone else, that's doesn't sound right, but that's the API. So this is what you're building, right? And I gave you a text file with this information inside of it, right? So you have the API, you have this route that you can hit, right? You're gonna have to customize this route for band or musician, because right now it only works for Blink-182. Go to this URL. I advise all of you to just go to this URL in the beginning of the exercise, study it, change the URL to give you a different musician, right? Change the URL to give you a different musician, and then make an Ajax query to it, try to add that information to the page, go from there. Right, 20 minutes. I want you guys to pair program, so one computer. So Mary's row, if you guys can choose person to code, that'd be great. Rob's row, same thing. If you guys can choose one person to code, cool, that'd be great. So we'll do 20 minutes. Sandy, give me a thumbs up when you're ready. And people online, I'll make a room for you. If one person can share their screen, that room, that'd be awesome.
You take it out together. All you have to really do is just past artists. Well, let's see what the personality
No, jQuery.
Check that out.
Let's see. Where did I put it? Nope. This one here?
Yeah. Put that in Google.
There we go. All right, so there's a photo.
So go back. That's your thumb. That's your arm.
So pretty much. Yeah, but where do you start the code? Just with this.
No, it's in that website. You have to do it on your own.
The
That
code?
website, yeah. It's not the website.
How the fuck do I do that?
It's not in that fucking API. I guess use that. Put it on. You see?
Because it's
Looking at this, if it looks familiar. I don't see anything that says API. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like this other one. API.
API key.
Yeah, no, but I'm like in the URL, like over here, API. App ID. This thing.
Yeah, check out the message. See what. The URL from the text file.
Okay.
Excellent. These two are actually really good.
That
ginger chick's just good, and also the Indian dude.
And they also do remote viewing.
Yeah, that's why he's trying to pair. I still don't get it. You have to customize that URL based on the user point.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that means?
I don't see any API. I see the link.
Let's see. So Glenda tells me all the time.
Yeah.
Will, I'm not sure you're not in the breakout room.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how do I go in?
Yeah, I'm not sure why you're not in it. I don't even see you in the Zoom.
I am there. I can hear you.
Oh, are you user? Is that your name, user?
I think so.
Yeah, that's your name. So you have to click on breakout rooms. You probably closed out the pop-up that came up. There's a thing called breakout rooms in the Zoom. Click on breakout rooms, click join. I can't hear you. You're muted. Or yeah, I can.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. In breakout rooms.
Okay, so where exactly? I just don't see the option for it.
Yeah, there should be an option called breakout room.
Oh, join breakout. Okay.
Join breakout room. Yep.
All right.
And that should get you in there. Cool. All right, guys, let's go over it. So the first thing I'll do, just make a page. Right, and then go to the previous file, just copy that over, paste it in. And then I just have to modify this a little bit. So I'm going to copy over the URL endpoint. Right here, copy this. And I don't need city, I don't need API key. Right, all I need is this URL. I just have to put in quotes. There we go. All right, so this isn't the app, right? This isn't the finished product, but we're gonna hit this query URL. We're gonna hit this query URL. Hey, Alan, just pay attention for a little bit. I'm gonna give you some time afterwards to go over this and keep going. So we're gonna hit this query URL right here with an Ajax query and just see what the data looks like. And then over here, this is gonna change, but we can keep that over here for the time being. So I'm gonna open this up in the browser. And then we have this right here. And now we have all this information, right? So I just use the same Ajax before and just change the query URL. That's all I did. And now we need the image URL. So we need this thing right here. We need the name. We need track count and upcoming event count and the URL. So we need URL. So I'll just copy information right here and see if I can console log this specific information. Okay, so I'll just paste that right here just to make it a little bit easier for us. Comment this. So I'll do data dot, if I want the image, what do I do, Nick? Data dot what? Thumb underscore URL. You could also do image URL, I guess, but underscore URL works. And then the console, then we'll just copy this. If I want the name of the or musician, Rob's row, what do I do? Data dot what? Name, great. And then we'll do another one. If I want the number of fans, Tiana's row. If I wanted the number of fans, data dot what? Number of fans. Tracker underscore count, perfect. And then upcoming events. Upcoming events, Aaron, Derek. Yeah. And then the last one is the URL, data dot URL. Great, thank you. So we'll just see if this worked or not. Go in the browser, refresh, and we have Blink-182, number of fans, upcoming events, and the URL right here. So we have all the information. Now we just have to build the page, right? We're not going to worry about the form until later. Just try to build the way it should look. So let's get the image on the page. So over here, I can just, for the time, make it easier for us because we're just dealing with one image on the page. We'll just put an image on the page. And then I'll put a paragraph tag right here. We'll see if I can get, let's see, it's a paragraph tag, and I'll wrap it in a link. right here. And then over here, I guess I could put a tag around it, sorry. So an A tag, that's a link tag, right? That's for links. And those are inline elements. So they take up the space that the content inside has. And paragraphs are block level. I want this on one line. So that's why I wrap the paragraph tag around the A tag. And we have the image right here. So now what I'll try to do is populate the image with the image URL. So $, if I want to select that image on Mary's row, if I want to select the image on the page, what do I type in here? Good, IMG, excellent. Dot, if I wanted to update the SRC, what do I type here? Comma. Excellent, very good. So this should be the image on the page now. So let's just see if that worked or not. Good, so we have the image too. Now we need to update the text of this paragraph right here. Or we have this A tag, so we can update the A tag's text size. So over here, if I wanted to update the A tag's text to be the band's name, Rob, your row. If I wanted to select the A tag, what do I? A, excellent. And then if I wanted to update the text inside, what method am I going to use? Excellent dot text. And if I want to put the band name inside of there, what am I going to put in? Excellent, perfect. So let's try this out, see if it worked. So I see Blink-182. The link doesn't work just yet. We can change that up. And actually, I just realized from it's probably better to do an H1. I'll just change this to an H1. Cool, so it's a little bit bigger now. All right, so now, so we have the text here, but we have to update the A tag's href attribute, right? We have to give it a URL. So over here, if I wanted to update the A tag's href, what method am I going to use? Let's go to Alan's row. If I wanted to update href attribute of the A tag, what method am I going to use right here? Excellent, very good, Ebony, right? At attr, and then what do I put here for the href? Excellent, and then here. Well, URL, yeah. So let's try this and see if this worked. Cool. Great, so it worked. So now I have to finish the rest of it. PNG. So we have Blink-182, and we have the number of fans tracking this artist and one upcoming event. So I'll make a H2 tag saying fans tracking this artist. Right here. Fans tracking this artist. I'll put a span tag so I can update, because I want whatever number to appear same line as this text. That's why I'm putting a span tag inside this H2. So I'll put an ID here called fans. And if I wanted to select this span tag in the jQuery, Aaron's row, if I want to select this tag right here in the jQuery, I will do $, fans, perfect, right? And now I'm going to do dot text. And if I wanted to put in the number of fans inside that span tag, what do I put in? You keep going, Aaron's row.
Data tracker.
Excellent, data tracker count. So let's see if that works. Good, so we got that part down, right? So now we need to do number of upcoming events. So I'm going to just copy this H2, paste it right here. And let me just take a look at the screenshot again. One upcoming events. Upcoming events. And fans, I'm going to put events. I'll do upcoming. So if I want to select this, if I want to select the span tag with an ID of upcoming events, let's go to Sandy and Marissa. If I want to select the tag upcoming events, what do I do? Hashtag, why hashtag? because it's an ID. Good, excellent. And then if I wanted to update the text of it to be the number of upcoming, what do I do? Excellent. Data.move event count. Perfect. Okay, so now I'll just check the page, see if it works. Good, one event. Right, so notice I'm just doing a little bit, testing it out in the browser, checking if it worked. Okay, so now the last part, see tour dates. So what I'm going to do right here is put a link right here. See tour dates. And I'm going to give this A tag an ID and call it name. And switch this one to name because I have two A tags now, so I can't use A to select an A tag because I have two A tags. And for this A tag, we'll give an ID of tour dates. So I'm going to select it. And if I want to make the href of this tour dates to be the data.url, how would I do that, Rob, Joe, row? Anyone in Rob's row? If I want, good. Attribute, excellent. Excellent key. So how would I do that? What would href? Mm-hmm. Well, it's the same one as this one. So it's data.url. Right, tour date, and the name are just the same one. Yeah. Yeah, I think you were looking for tour date or something. Yeah. Great. So now we have this working. Click on this. Perfect. So we have this working, but we don't have the form. We don't have the form working. So now it's form. Right. So we're gonna choose your artist input and a button with go in it. So let's do that right here. So input, type text, and name attribute right now. Name attributes are important in the future, but not right now. And I'm gonna wrap this inside of a form. It wasn't needed to use the form tag. It's just better HTML if you wrap it in the form tag. You didn't really need it though. And then over here, I'm gonna say, I already forgot the text. What is it? Artist. Choose your artist. Good. And then over here, I can put this into a paragraph tag. And then I could wrap this in a span. No, that's fine. And then over here, it's a button and then go. Cool. So let's just see what this looks like now. Good. I mean, it's not going to work. I didn't do anything. So we have to do something for this. So how do I make this? What am I going to use? I'm going to query. Go ahead, Tiana's row. Great, great. So I can. So you're saying do something on the button, right? So I could put an ID on the button, but because there's only one button, I can just select that using jQuery like this. And then what do I do after Tiana's row? Good. On click. Great. And then we're going to do a function right here. So on click, let's just do an alert for the time being. Right. So when we click that button, we're going to alert high. So hopefully we see this. We're on the right track. Hi. Good. But did you guys see that flash? Why did it like blink like that? It reloaded. Good, Josh, right? So that really screw us over a little bit. Browser reloading. Does anyone know why the browser's reloading when we click on that button? This doesn't, the Ajax doesn't actually, so the whole point of Ajax is to not reload the browser. So all of this is happening without a reload. All this is happening without a reload. The reload's happening right after the alert, like right here. The reason why is because when you use forms, if you don't specify an action attribute right here, don't specify an action attribute right here, the form submits to the current page that it's on. Form submits the current page that it's on. That's not, we're not using that behavior right now. We're not using the form's traditional behavior right now. We will in week 14. All we want to do is grab this input when they click this button, right? We just want to have whatever value is inside this input when they click this button. So we could do event.prevent right here, and that prevents the default action of the form. This prevents, so it won't refresh the page. So now if I click on it again, it says hi, and we don't see the flash. See the flash. So the reason why this is important is because if you load the page too quickly, it's not gonna, like, you'll see the data second and then it'll reload and you'll see nothing, right? And I'll take this out later and you'll see that effect. So I'm gonna just comment out the alert hi. I'm gonna paste in all of this inside of the button click right here. And now let's try this form. So refresh, we don't see anything really. So do an artist, like, what did you say? How do I spell it? B-E space. Okay, cool. Go. Right, it's Blink-182. And if we do anything else, it's still Blink-182 if we do anything else. And why is it Blink-182 all the time, Sandy? Yourself? Because of this URL, good. Because of this URL right here. So we customize this artist right here, right? So it's not Blink-182. So what we can do here is do var artist, right? And we can get the artist from the input. So if I wanted to select the input, what do I put here, Judith Israel? I want to select the input. Excellent. If I want to get the value, what do I do? Dot val, right? And then you can do dot trim to trim it, but you don't need it. And then here I can customize this URL a little bit. Right, so I'm just making a new string, right? I'm putting what put in this variable right here. And now it should custom page based on the artist that's put in. So we'll do, are they alive? Cool, so it's a lot of fans. Yeah, surprisingly, it just works without doing that. There's serialize, like a URL serialize method that you could use, but you don't have to use it. So that was good. So it's working right now, but the thing is we see this text, we see all of this when the page loads. So to avoid that, I mean, you could dynamically create the elements, but let's not do that. So what we can do is I can make a div right here, make a div, and then cut all this stuff, put it right here, and then I could select this div and hide everything inside of it on page load, or I can make a CSS class display colon. If I want to hide it, what do I write? It's not hide. It's hide is the jQuery method. It's not hidden. So, sorry. None. Good job, Derek. Right? None. So now on page load, we should see nothing. So we need the input. Yeah, we still need the form. So take the form out. Take the form here. So let's see if this fixes it. Good. So we see that. And we'll do P2. Hold 2. All right. We're not unhiding it. We're not unhiding it. So what I need to do over here is kind of make a class hidden, add the hidden class right here, and then I'm going to remove this hidden class with that button. So I'm going to remove that hidden class. Actually, what I'm going to do is move the hidden class after everything's populated. So $ hash content dot remove class hidden. Let's take a look at this. Great. And let's try someone else. Nice. Okay, just showing you with someone with multiple spaces works, but that can't be right. It must have more fans than that. Minus Rage Against the Machine. Okay. They're very particular. You know what? Maybe there's a band that that might be a good idea. On Spotify, just start a band called Metallica's, right? And then just get a ton of fans. So the key here is to go slow, right? So don't worry. Like if you started off with the form, you're doing a lot of extra work, right? Without knowing what's going to happen. What you should have done, start off with the basic Ajax query, console log the response, and then look through the data and try to console log the information you need, right? And display that onto the page. And once you got there, once that's fine, then do the form. And then all you're trying to do is get that button. When you click on that button, alert something, right? Once you get that, then you cut all that content, put that into onClick, see if it works. If it works from there, then you have to customize it. The customization happens at the very end, right? So it's an iterative process. Definitely challenge. This activity is hard. I mean, you're working with an external API source, and you're creating from scratch, right? Guys, the other classes, they don't do it like this. They kind of get like a file that's kind of pre-filled in with everything. I make you guys do it from scratch, but it's going to make you strong, right? Like if I give you, in the real world, they're going to give you a screenshot and tell you do this, right? No one's going to be like, here's a file, please fill it out, right? Like and most already. So this was much more challenging than the other classes get, but. They'll have like a bio that they'll have to like.
What is the other class?
Well, they'll get all the HTML, they'll get the JavaScript already all done.
Is it still the same program that we're in, just a different class? Or is it
Yeah, it's the same content.
different people?
Different people, and then they just get a little bit more help in the files. Here, let me send this. Let me just send this over. Will, oh yeah, I can hear you when you want to talk to me. All right, I just out the file. Aaron, can you give me a thumbs up? Get it? Download it. So download the file, put in Sublime Text, and Aaron, thumbs up when you have it. Thanks. All right, guys, so 10 minutes. We'll go over this with your partners.